Hey everyone, I had some quite good responses to yesterday's video that I made just showing you on higher highs how you can find stocks that are perhaps trending up against the market. If the market's going down, there's always something going up. And I had a couple of people ask about this favorites functionality up the top right, and so I just wanted to explain it a bit better because I'm not very good at writing documentation. I like sort of building things and playing with them and not potentially getting around to explaining to everyone else how to use them. So this is a feature that I actually quite like, and so what I want to do is, let's pretend that I was going through and I've got just the US and Australia selected. Those are two markets that I like to trade. I'm looking at the 1 year up 100% and price any. So these are the stocks that are traditionally have been more aggressively moving. I also like stocks that are in that what I call a sweet spot. They say that $10 to $100 type mark, or maybe even $10 to $200. So I like to try and find the ones that might be a little bit cheaper. So I'd go through and again, I've explained this before, but I've just got this silly little idea in my head, and it's not necessarily true, but in my head, I think a $20 stock can more easily go to $30 or $40 than a $200 stock can go to $300 or $400. Just one of those little human psychology things. But anyway, so let's pretend that I like to look at TrueBridge. So I'm going to click on the little star here, and I'll select TrueBridge. And I like it because it's gone up really nice and steadily. It's $30 stock. It's sub $50. Let's just assume that I like that one for whatever reasons. Palantir, of course, a bit of a market darling. They've had a strong run, pull back. Hopefully they might head back up. There's some good upside there, so I'm going to highlight them. And I might go through and I might just have this as a really easy way to, select a couple of stocks that I just want to keep an eye on. And so if I now go up to this favorites list and I click on favorites, you can see that it's now added these stocks here to my favorites. If I want to remove them, I just, unselect the star and refresh the page. I might have to refresh to get rid of it. So it's super simple. And there's a small problem at the moment. This is saved to your cookie, so I promise you we don't look at any of your personal data information, don't track you, don't sell your information, etc., etc. And so I wanted to keep the site as simple as I could. So it's just these settings, or the ones that are selected are stored on your local computer in your browser. And so if you do clear the cookies and things, then it resets this list. We're going to add a login function back into the system, so that you can create a username and password, and then it'll save your selections into the database so that they're always there. Whether you move from computer to computer or mobile to computer, the things will save across different devices. But anyway, so it's easy to understand that these are now here. That's obviously something that's very easy to understand. But what we've done is we've got this chart system below, and so this is something that I particularly like, in that I haven't seen it done anywhere else. If it has been, please let me know. And you can't really see any information here because I've only just added these assets to it. And I might need to make a follow-up video in a couple of days, but I'll just tell you the thinking behind it. So the whole idea is that I can add these stocks. It will tell me what the last price was for these stocks. It'll tell me the RSI, effectively the value that they're at. It'll tell me the change over the last day, week, month, 3 months, and 1 year. So it just tells me how aggressive these stocks are moving in the market. All these columns are sortable. But the thing that I really wanted to point out that I really like is it'll tell me how many days I've had those stocks on my watch list. And so, over give it a week, it'll say, 7 days for all these. If I add a couple, it might say, some have been on my list for 7 days, some are 3 days, some are 2 days, whatever it is that I happen to add them just to keep an eye on them. And it will then also tell me what the profit and loss in a dollar value amount is, as I've held these stocks, or rather held them in my watch list. It'll tell me the percentage P&L since I added them to my watch list. So I get to sort of look back and say, well, I added this one here and it's gone up 27%. That was a good call for me to add it. I wish I'd bought it. And then another one might be down 20%. I think, well, geez, that was a bad decision that I made to grab that one, and it's down 20%. But having that there is nothing particularly special. But the thing that I really like, that I really wanted to highlight, is that this average day and percentage average day. So what I want to be able to do here is I want to be able to have it so it calculates that you've had this stock here in your watch list for 7 days. It's gone up, I don't know, 6%, and so therefore this stock is moving at a rate of, let's say 90 cents a day is what your gain is on average, or pretend it's going up 1% every day, or 2% every day, or 0.02% every day. And then what I'm going to be able to do is sort this, and the percentage average per day is what I'm really interested in, because rather than just simply saying here's all the stocks that I've added and here's how much they've gone up or down since I've added them, I actually want to see which of the stocks are running more quickly on an average daily basis. And so using that information, I can say, well, I'm better off spending more money on, VRNA because it's making me 1% a day, whereas SFM on average is only making me 0.5% a day, and on average TBRG is losing 0%, 0.01% a day. So I love the idea that I can actually go and see which stocks that I'm watching are performing better on a daily average type basis. And the next logical thing for me to do, or for us to do on the site, is we're going to turn this into a portfolio. And so you'll be able to say, here's all the shares that I've bought, here's the price that I bought them at, here's the date that I bought them at, here's the quantity that I bought them on, the number that I bought. And so you'll be able to very quickly see, based on the time that you've held them, here's how much you're up or down. But more importantly, and this is the thing I haven't seen anywhere, is you'll be able to see what their average daily gain is, or their average daily percentage gain is. And so you'll be able to see how well that stock is performing for you on a ongoing basis, and you'll be able to put more money into stocks that are performing better, that are going up quicker than others, irrespective of how long you've held them for. So that's something that I quite like. Like it takes it back to allowing you to see their the performance on an ongoing basis. Some of it will average out. The longer you've held a stock, I guess it'll sort of average out a bit better, and create a sort of a smoother line over time. But I do like the idea that I can start to look at my long-term, well-held assets and try and work out which one I should put more money into, based on which one is giving me the more aggressive gain over a period of time. And then below this, I don't know if I'll keep this or not, but it tells you the latest news for all the assets that you have in your watch list. So it's just a simple way of saying, here's all the stocks that I've selected that I want to keep an eye on. Here's how they're performing over time, and here's how they're being perceived by the market. This is good news, bad news, good news, great news. We've got a sentiment analysis next to it for each article. And so, obviously you can click on each of them and it'll, open up the original article, and you can read, more about what's happening. So, it's quite interesting. I'm not sure if that opened because I think I'm just recording this tab. But anyway, so it's a good site. And the other thing you do is just this fictitious, if I can pretend I've invested $10,000 in it, and therefore it'll change all the values as if you'd bought $10,000 of each stock, or $100,000 worth of each stock. But in the future, we'll have it so that you'll be able to put your actual stock holdings into the system, and it will calculate all this for you, and perhaps let you know which stocks you should be putting more money into, and which ones you might be starting to reduce your position size on. It would probably be good to have something like show the performance maybe over a week or over a month, depending on how long you've held them for. But there's only a certain amount of real estate we can have on this page, but it's kind of cool. Like I said, it's just a easy way for you to track when you've added a stock, and how many days you've added it for, and whether you're right or wrong at the time. It's just a fun exercise to look back on and think, please, I should have had that. I should have bought this when it was down around here, because look at it now. Anyway, that's just a explanation of how this favourites things work, because a few people are unsure. Super simple, very, very simple, and just an easy way for you to keep an eye on the stocks that you, for whatever reason, like. And the last thing is that, of course, if I open up this in a more detailed window, you'll be able to see the stars also there. So when you're going through and looking at these stocks, there's a star there. One of the other features that we're going to add is the ability to go forward and backwards. So rather than having to go back and forth between the search page results and these pages, just you be able to click next, 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 and it'll load the next chart, the next chart, the next chart. So you've got to love a stock that's got a nice chart that's going up like that, and have an annual revenue that's going up like that. I like to look at annual revenue because all I want to do is see that there's demand in the market for that company's products or services. Their profitability can be all over the place depending on whether they're reinvesting, what they're doing with funds, whether they're building new stuff or new factories. All of that information is down below, so for anyone who wants to get right into the weeds and, read all the detail, I think that we've probably got, almost the most information on any particular stock that's available, online as far as I know. And, the AI stuff that we have will, further enhance that and just make it better and better. My stupidly simple strategy is green is good, red is bad. So, I just look to see, how these stocks are performing, and, anything that's red, might get called out. But probably like many of you, I tend to, mainly look at the charts and, go off the price action, and, just look for the stocks that are going up nice and steadily. If the revenue is going up nice and steadily, that's a bonus. And so it's a very simple sort of strategy. Wait for a bit of a pullback until it comes back into a bit of a value area. Wait until it starts going up again, and hope for the best that your stock's going to be one of these, great performers that continues just to go up and up and up. So 180% over a year, 270% over a year, and that's after a massive pullback. 325% over a year. It's not to say that things won't change, as I say in this disclaimer on the front page, just because it's going up doesn't mean it's going to continue to go up, but I'd like to think there's a better chance. So that's a bit more of a longer ramble than I meant to, but I just wanted to share that this is kind of a fairly cool favourites that I like to fiddle with, and can't wait till we add the one that has your actual holdings in it. And again, none of this data we ever look at or we'll ever share. It's just purely to build something that I want to use, and hopefully other people like the idea of it as well. Anyway, thank you as always for listening.